Good evening, SBC, SBCC, and BSL, and all points in between. Welcome to the May 4th edition of Tuesday. We already in May, y'all. Wow. Well, anyway. And Sunday is Mother's Day. So, okay. So, anyway, in any case, glad to have y'all here. I'm your host, Mike. And I'm your moderator for tonight and facilitator and any other aider. And I also have Leslie, Victor, Reginald, and Shannon. We have our panelists today. And I hope you all doing well and doing good so far this week. And just glad to have y'all here with us. With that said, let's jump right to it. Let's just say you're in a relationship, okay? Shannon don't look like that. Uh, let's say you're in a relationship. Everything, folks, it's gonna be a hard night for me tonight. So y'all pray for me, okay? Okay. Let's say you're in a relationship. And I mean everything just look all rosy and you could just see the birds chirping, butterflies, forest animals, just everything just surrounding y'all. That Disney Snow White, Sleeping Beauty type of thing. And everything just looks so perfect, you know, and then things just stop. And that happens. All relationships have their bumps and bruises and things happen. We know that. I think everybody on here have experienced that one way or another, right? Okay. So you would think that both of them would sit back and take their time and think things over, do a little self-reflecting and saying, but what would happen? What went wrong? What happened? Maybe we could get back together. Maybe we can reconcile. Maybe I won't do this with the next person I'm in a relationship with. Well, you get the idea. But this is good. This is good as the pie cools off. All of a sudden you see that person another another mate, another boo, and you're wondering like, hold up, didn't we just parted ways less than a month ago? And nothing wrong with moving forward. I want to make this abundantly clear. Nothing wrong with moving forward, though. But shouldn't there be some type of unwritten rule on how you handle that? Do you put your ex feelings in consideration? How is there a right way or wrong way you handle that? So the first topic for tonight, and how people looking on this panel might be the only topic tonight, is how soon is too soon? And again, how soon is too soon? You know what? I usually put it in Leslie's hand though, but Shannon looking kind of, yeah, look at discombobulated right now. So, Shannon, start us off, please.
How soon is too soon?
Yes, ma'am.
I think it's subjective.
Mm-hmm.
I think it depends on the individuals. Some people are just forthcoming with their personal, lives and their relationships, and they don't mind putting all of that out there for the world to know and see. And some people they're comfortable in doing that. And for those who that works for, I say, God bless you. It's not necessarily wrong. That's just them living their lives. Now, do I do it? Absolutely not. That doesn't work for me. whether it's a new relationship or even an older relationship. Whether I've been dating someone for a week or if I've been dating someone for 6 months, I'm just like, I don't like putting my business out there because I typically am pretty private, but everyone is not that way. So I say more power to them. That's the best answer I can give, you know. They got to live their own life. Yeah, they shouldn't have to answer to anybody else's standards concerning their lives. So, but I will say this: when you make the decision to put all of your business out there, and people have opinions, you can't get mad because people have opinions because you've put all of your business out there. That's all I had to say about that. Michael.
Oh, Victor, you had your hand up.
Yeah, I think like Shannon is very subjective. I think that some people no two people process the same way. And people have the right to govern their lives, and soon is not operationalized, soon is not defined, um, and soon is not measurable. And so, like I often say, your personal convictions, they're yours. And it's not a biblical principle. They've been saying Jesus coming back soon, and it's over 2,000 years. And so, depending on how you define soon, because soon could be 2,000 years, soon could be a couple of seconds. So it just depends. And so, I just say that my personal convictions is that if I'm ending a relationship, I want to take time out to process, what had just taken place, where I'm at, and where I want to go. And that time period is not highly defined for me. When I was married, when I was going through divorce, what I stated was I will not get in a relationship until after I'm divorced. So that day, it could have taken place that day. I didn't want to get in anything serious for about a year because I wanted to take that time to make sure of the adjustment in my life and stuff like that. Didn't mean I didn't date. It just mean I wasn't trying to get in nothing serious. So, but that was my personal conviction based on information that I got from a book that I had read during that time. So, but that was me. It didn't mean that it was wrong because I've known some other people that may have dated while they were still married. I have my personal views. They had their personal views.
Mm-hmm.
So I've learned not to touch folks. I work out my own soul salvation, Victor, and he alone. And I just don't touch other folks' stuff because I'm not in their shoes, nor my God.
Gotcha. Sherry says, no, not when they were cheating all along. These are some good, interesting topics, y'all. Or what Teresa says, in all caps, they were seeing that person already if they moved that quick. How many of y'all agree with that?
I don't.
Well, I don't either.
Mm-hmm.
I think it shouldn't even matter, to be honest with you. If you're out of that relationship, what does it matter if they're seeing somebody the next day? I was so, and I'm being transparent, I was so angry when I got divorced. Thank God I didn't. But I was angry enough to probably date somebody that same night that my divorce was finalized after we left, the courthouse. I didn't But, some people just move on quickly because a relationship ended. Some people left the relationship mentally and emotionally way before the divorce ever happened. So to others, it might seem like they've moved on quickly, but in all actuality, they could have moved on way before that even happened. So I don't necessarily agree with that one.
Reginald?
Well, it basically is on a case by case basis. I'm a big proponent of discretion. Okay. Even if the relationship ended badly, I still take that person's feelings in consideration because I'm a firm believer what goes around comes around. And how you do somebody, I don't care if they did you wrong. Two wrongs will never make a right. And so when you do things to get back at somebody, it's just the old saying, when you do a trap, you better make two. One ditch for you and one ditch for the person you're trying to trap. And so when you do things like that, nothing good ever comes back to you. Nothing. And that's the way life works. So to me, if you're broken up and you start dating somebody else, don't throw it up in your ex's face. Have some discretion about yourself. And don't put everything on social media. I don't know if you got to put everything they do on social media. What is that about? Because the fact that, because that happened to me, I was seeing this young lady, and next thing I know, she got on Facebook that we're together. And so my family that's on Facebook is calling me, asking me who was this woman. I'm like, huh? So, people, they put this stuff out there. If you got to put stuff on social media, make sure you're in a solid relationship first. Make sure you're both on the same page. Make sure you're both at the same mindset. Because if she's thinking one thing and you thinking something else, and then now it's on social media, that could be a very embarrassing situation. But like I said before, discretion is always the better part of valor. Think how you want to be treated if that situation was reversed. And I think if people will start doing that, a lot of this mess wouldn't happen because nobody wants to get dogged. Nobody want to get mistreated. Nobody want to get publicly embarrassed. And so if you're not doing that to somebody else, then that's how you should do. That's what I have to say about it. Have some discretion about yourself. Michael.
I agree with Reginald because I'm all about discretion. I mean, no one knows who I'm dating or whatever is going on in my life except my inner circle. And the inner circle is not my Facebook list of friends. It's not that huge. It's very small. So I'm huge about that. So if I end a relationship or in a relationship ends, whoever ends it, and the next one starts, it's not for Facebook. The end doesn't need to be announced, and the beginning doesn't need to be announced. The only thing that needs to be announced on Facebook for me, this is my rule, is marriage. When I get married, the world will know. The pictures will be on Facebook and then the ceremony will be live streamed. So it's gonna be a celebration because God did it. God showed up, and it's a blessing to be shown and to a testimony to be given. So that's what needs to be put out there. That's a public declaration that needs to be announced and celebrated and put forth to the world for the world to see. Everything else before that, however good or bad those relationships are, let them be where they are. Now we know that there's some people who say, well, I just want to let the world know you my woman. That's wonderful. How big is your world? It's like, who are you and why are you announcing? Why do you feel it needs to be announced? Why do you want to show folks? For what reason? Because you're doing it to get a response. from some people that really probably are more than likely are irrelevant to the relationship. So I agree 100% with discretion is key, because one thing is that, you just don't want people all in your stuff, all in your business, all in your relationship, all in what's going on, because people have opinions. And 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna say 9.9 times out of 10, these are opinions that you don't need to know or hear or be informed of, because they should not influence your relationship. So it is what it is. I'm with discretion. Keep your business to yourself. Let's act like grown-ups.
I think, Leslie, I think with it, I think that we're probably all in the discretion corner, but for those people who are not in the discretion corner, it's not right or wrong. And I can't say that they're doing it because they want people in their business. They're excited about the relationship, and just like with Christ, they want to witness it and declare it and tell the whole world on the rooftop. That's certain temperaments that are more prone to doing that. The people-oriented individual are more prone to doing that versus the introverts. And so it's realizing, it's like, okay, if that's what you choose to do, that's what you choose to do.
But you know what? As I think about that, because you're right, people have different personalities, and those personalities exhibit are different ways based on what they're putting out there. Someone buys a new car, they ride it all over town because they want everybody to see that new car. Us ladies, we get that new Gucci and that Louis. We put it with every outfit. We taking it everywhere we go, to the Burger King or to the Saks. We got that Gucci or that Louis on our arm. But those are materialistic things. Relationships, one individual, another individual. And we should handle them accordingly, with respect, with honor, with reverence, and with dignity. It's not something that after it gets old, you're just going to put it to the side. That relationship should grow. It should flourish. It should be a blessing. And
they're proud of it, Leslie, just like they're proud of that bag. And they just like you got that bag today and you got that bag tomorrow. I'm dating Sally today. I'm dating Richard tomorrow. It's kind of one of those things. The behavior may not have changed just because it's a relationship. That may be the normality for that person.
Mm-hmm.
That's just how they are, that they just share it like that. Now the different part of it is they're not going to share the ending. But there's those who do share the ending. And you have that party that some people call it the pity party, that sometimes they share that ending as well.
See, I get nervous when people want to be showy too soon. Because the foundation hasn't been laid. I met a guy and 2 weeks in, he's like, I was telling my friend about you, and I was telling him that I met this woman that's about to change my life. I said, you don't know me. I mean, it's been 2 weeks. We've talked a lot, had great conversations, but you really don't know me yet to be thinking this seriously about me. So some people just it's just show, and it's surface level, and it's just show. It's fluff. There's no depth to it. There's no sincerity to it. It's just fluff. And I see.
But some people do that. Some people do that. I mean, you look at it.
But it doesn't make it right if they do it.
But it doesn't make it wrong either. So a lot of people, especially when you get older, people that get over the 40, soon it's a lot different. They have a different thinking than maybe the 20s. Their thinking is, it doesn't take it don't take every day. It don't take that long. God will do a quick work. Especially their believer. Yes, he will. Yes, he will immediately. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. 7 days suddenly. You know what I mean? And so I can't say that's wrong. I can't say that that's right. I say that's your conviction and that's your life.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I think we have to be objective enough to realize we live in a diverse world, and people are not going to think like us and do as we do. And it's not that it's right or wrong. And it's like, okay. And it's not I can't say it's a lack of wisdom. It's that how they govern their life.
And that's all well and good when it says right or wrong, everyone, but when your life involves me, we need to come to some agreement. If I feel like discretion is key, and you're in a relationship with me, we should be conflicting on this. You know, we should be in agreement. And when we announce or pronounce whatever this relationship is, we should be in agreement. We should be walking step in step about that. You know, so that's why I said when we're all saying what we would do for ourselves and what people would do for themselves in their situation, in their relationships, that's for them to do. But when I'm saying when it's me in the relationship, respect my wishes, regardless if you feel differently. At least if I'm in a relationship with you and this ain't just all about you and you want to show the world, because if it's all about you, you want to show the world, I mean, I'm not even here. I'm irrelevant, but you're in a relationship with me. And you're not listening to me. You're not honoring me. You're not respecting me. That's when it becomes an issue. That's when the right or wrong comes into place. When you have two people who have a different viewpoint on how the relationship should move forward, you got to be in agreement about it.
I agree with that. You're not posting nothing about me on social media without my permission. That's just that's not going to happen. I'll delete your whole page. But for those two people who are in agreement and they don't care and they want to post every single little thing, God bless them.
Bless them.
You know, let them be great. Whether they have been together for a week, 2 weeks, 2 days, who are we to say what kind of relationship they've established thus far? I don't know. I'm not in their texts. I'm not in their phone conversations. I'm not a fly on the wall. And it really doesn't matter to me. You know, go be in love, be great. You know, that doesn't work for me, but I cannot say it's wrong for anybody else. I just go be great. But just know when you put everything out there, and that's all I'm gonna say. When you put every single part of your life out there for people to see, then you are also opening yourself up for the opinions of others. That's all I'm gonna say.
For those who like to do the social media thing, one thing they need to keep in mind, there's consequences to your actions, whether it's good or bad. And when you know, people like, I didn't see that coming. Okay, but you put it out there. Okay, and sometimes we're not prepared for the backlash that comes at us when we put stuff out there, because we don't understand there's a consequence to your action. Okay, everything you do in life has a consequence, whether it's good or bad. And so when you put yourself out there, then you have to be prepared and willing to deal with whether it's a good reaction or it's a bad reaction. But if it's a bad reaction, you can't get upset when you're the one that put it out there in the first. That's a consequence to your action. Had you not put it out there in the first place, you wouldn't have these issues. So therefore, it's that individual's choice to do that. Yes, there's no right or wrong. Yes, but there's a consequence. That's neither here nor there. There will be a consequence, whether it's a good consequence or a bad one. Whichever way it comes, you have to be prepared to deal with it.
But at the same time, if they don't solicit out, they can post whatever they want to post. But if they're not soliciting my comment, then I'm not going to touch it because it's not my life. I could care less about it. I may find it to be whatever I want to find it to be. I'm not in it. And so I just think how I think, left brained, I don't touch it. I could think it's ridiculous as can be. I could think it's wonderful as can be. It ain't my life. So if they want to post it and I post it, the consequence is, why do I have to give a consequence to the decision of your life? I don't, because I have no stake in that company. It is not what I consider to be my business and really relevant to me and what you choose to do, because you're an adult. If you don't ask me, I don't tell you. And it's funny because I've had friends, they may have been in relationships, and whether I agree or disagree or whatever the case is, they may ask me when it ends. And they said, well, you never said anything. You never asked me. It's not my place to tell you. I respect boundaries and I respect people's lives.
But unfortunately, you got people on social media who are professional trolls. Trump supporters are point blank proof. They look for stuff that's said against him to make comments. And so you got people on social media, that's all they do 24/7 is go through people's posts and pick out stuff they don't like and give their opinions because they're behind a keyboard. The stuff they say to you, they will never say in your face to you in person, but they'll get behind that keyboard and type all that kind of mess, you know, saying you this, you that, you did this, you did that, because that's all they do all day long. They're professional trolls. And so, yeah, you might not make a comment, but trust me, there's a whole lot of people out here that will. And so,
you know,
that's the problem. When you do that, yeah, you got to deal with them trolls out there because they're going to let you know exactly what they think.
Well, here's the thing about that. Here's how I feel about that. If you post something on your personal page, you control what happens on your page. It's at your discretion. If you want to block some folks, if you want to turn off commenting, you can do whatever you want to do because it is yours. The moment you decide to post something on an open forum, you don't have control over that anymore. Therefore, you just opened yourself up to be subjected to other people's opinions. And if you indeed cannot handle that, then you shouldn't post, period. You should just keep that to your page because you can control that page. But you cannot post, for example, someone wants to post an SBC and they want to put all of their relationship business out there. And, you know, one day they're together, the next day they're not together. What if somebody goes into their last post and says, what happened, sis? What happened, brother? And the person gets offended. Well, you can't. You just put this in an open forum. So people have the right to comment on an open forum all they want to because you can't control it. You have no control over it. So it would behoove anyone, if it's personal to you, put it on your own personal page, keep it off of public open forums so that you don't have to deal with that sort of thing that Reggie was just talking about, people trolling and all that kind of stuff. You control the outcome.
Know what, Shannon? I go one step further. Don't put it on social media, period. Just say, hey, people don't need to know. People don't, we you know, and go back, kind of piggyback on what Reginald said a few minutes ago about keyboard warriors. You know, even before Trump was even considering a presidential run during his apprentice days, you've always had, since the advent of Usenet and message boards and everything, you always had keyboard warriors who sat behind the safety of their Tandy computers. So you know how far back I'm going now. Yeah, Tandy computers and just spewing stuff. And now with technology, what we have now, like look what we're doing now. Oh goodness, going to groups. They can impart my vernacular. They could show enough clown behind the keyboards. And so, and again, you have Like Victor said, some people may not intentionally, or so they say, not soliciting our opinion. But if you go out there, you post something ridiculous, then somebody gonna say something either on the board, on your post, or they gonna talk about you in the DMs. Somebody gonna have an opinion. They gonna express it too. They just can't keep it to themselves. You see them looking crazy. Oh, I got to talk to such and such about that. Did you see that? So, and again, I think the onus falls on us on whether or not you don't want bad feedback. Think twice before you post. That's my nipples worth. Mic off.
Mike, Keisha, comment right there.
Yep.
I love you, Keisha, but I believe people kill their own relationships. I think social media didn't do it. People do it because of decisions that that we make. There are outcomes behind our decisions. I don't use the word consequence because I don't think that people's choices concerning their life and showing their life should be consequential from anybody else. But I do believe that when you open yourself out there and for the world to see, the world to know, and you don't control the narrative, then that could be problematic. But I don't believe social media is killing relationships. I think it's just people. And it's all about the intentions, behind the things that we do. And that still lies in between the people that are in that relationship. So.
Mm-hmm. And Erica Joy says shouldn't be on social media at all, actually. It's such a destructive, dangerous, exploitive tool if used incorrectly. And again, we subconsciously, maybe not all, but the majority of us that peruse social media subconsciously seek validation from our followers. That's why we post. Wow, look at my new friend, look at my new boo. What y'all think of her, what y'all think of him. So again, until we start using common sense and realize that we do not need Victor, did you raise your hand?
No, scratch
Oh,
my
okay.
head.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You gotta check these prescriptions of mine. But anyway, until we learn that this is just I don't want to say fictional world social media is though, but we just got to use better discretion. Okay. And with that said, we go to our next topic, which I'm afraid to touch upon though. Okay, here it go then. Here it go. Downlow suspicions. Downlow suspicions. And it kind of tie in what we just finished talking about, presenting, I guess, well, I'll just say it like this. Have you ever been in a situation where you suspected the person, not only to the panelists, but definitely to the watchers out there, where you suspected that they were on the down low? It's just a simple question.
Can you give me what your definition of down low is?
Oh, you know what? Okay, I don't like.
I just want to make sure before I comment.
A person who a person who
dibbles and dabbles.
on the that dibbles and dabbles in
with the same sex.
and with the, you know what, Rachel, that's why I like you. Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Person who
That's why I thought that's where you were going with it. Yeah.
yes. A person who present themselves as a heterosexual, but in certain secret times engage in homosexual activities. And I'll make this disclaimer: this is not a homophobic post or topic. We're just discussing how some people are not, what is it, living their truth, so to speak.
That's it.
If that's a, yeah, okay, thank you. Okay.
Yeah, because I wanted to make sure it's not like someone has stated that they are bisexual. They are living a life as a heterosexual, proclaiming that they're heterosexual, but in no, not even that, because if we're fluid, they be truthful, you know. But in the darkness of the night, they go off and do things that are of a homosexual nature and feel like they should keep it quiet from those they are in relationship with. People who should know your sexual proclivities.
Okay. And with the comments here, and that's where the X lives, I suspect. Okay. I like what Tiffany says. That's why I won't see baby pictures and friends. They tell you a lot about folks. Can that be? In other words, and again, I'm trying to tread carefully. You want to make sure they came into the world the same way you see them now.
Oh, but that's different. That's a different word for that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a different term for that, because we do honestly have people out there who are living a trans life and are not telling people that they are trans, and that's a problem. Because if someone and I hear so many stories of people getting offended because, well, he liked me, and when he found out that I wasn't all female, he got mad. I don't understand. Well, you presented yourself as a female. You demonstrated, presented in all its glory that you are a female. That's not down low. You are presenting yourself as one thing and you're not being truthful from the get-go, then I am not all of what you see. There's some other things going on under the clothes that you need to be aware of before we go too far. And then people get mad. These men get mad when they've gone so far and find out other things they're going on there. That's not down low. Down low is primarily a word that is stated about men who are in relationship or married to women, but on their little secret rendezvous time, they have secret rendezvous with men. And they keep that side of their life secret where no one knows, and they do it for a long time and years. And they have these feelings, and they try to live a life according to what society have in the past, or even to this point is so much accepted. But in the past, Black men are supposed to be seen and masculine and all these things that the world have already put before them. And they try to live up to that image, but still have desires that they try to live through in secret. That's down low. The others, that's something else. That's something else.
Okay. Now, Sherry says most women will not date a man who admits to his bisexuality, so they conceal it. And then I'm wondering, is there a double standard though?
Yep.
Okay.
Because there are men out there that love the fact that a woman has been with another woman.
Go ahead, Shannon.
When I think down low, I just automatically think of the deceitfulness of it. Not even so much of your sexuality, just the fact If
Yeah.
indeed you have to deceive the person that you're with to
Mhm.
remain in relationship with them, that's just ridiculous to me. I definitely don't agree with it because you're robbing them of their choice.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
Mhm.
the disrespectful part of it for
Mhm.
me.
Mhm. Mhm.
That's not caring about someone. That's not loving someone
Mhm.
to me. Because if you love me and you do care about me, give me the right to choose whether or not this is something that I want to be a part of. Not even so much that you have these feelings, but you deceived me. You're deceiving me, and you're taking away my choice. Let me choose that for myself if I want to engage, with someone who is living that lifestyle. Go be great. Live out loud. If that's what you like, say that.
Mhm. Mhm.
Say that. There are
Mhm.
people there,
Mhm.
there are people who there are women who don't mind. There are women who are like, you know what, baby, I love you anyway. This is something that you are dealing with or struggling with, and we'll deal with it and struggle with it together. I'm not one of those women, but there are women like that. Um, just want to throw that out there.
I
Um,
was
not one of those women.
like,
Nope, not even. But there are women like that, and my point is, anytime you have to deceive somebody to get what you
Mm.
want, then you are wrong. Period. Point blank. You are wrong, and you're not honoring the person that you're with. You're not. That's not loving the person that you're with, and it's disrespectful.
It's something Tiffany said, I think, what she was alluding to the fact that when you see people in their natural element around their friends or their family, you're likely to get to see the real person. And I think having opportunities to get to see the real person, for them to be relaxed and comfortable to be themselves, so that you can kind of have that intimacy, because intimacy is see inside of me. So I think that, to me, I think is important, because eventually people can't act for so long. Eventually it's going to come out.
one thing my mama always said, what you do in the dark is gonna come out in the light.
Whatever's in the wash will come out in the rinse.
Yeah.
And again, you know, and again, we're not talking about their sexuality per se or trying to knock that. We're just saying, hey, if this is the life you live, then live your truth.
Mm-hmm.
Be great.
Live your truth. Yeah, be great. You know, give us a choice
Mm-hmm.
on whether that's what you're doing, though. And then let me decide, well, do I want to go along with this?
Mm-hmm.
It should go ahead. Was someone gonna say something? Oh, okay. Let me see. Let me see.
Mm-hmm.
Like shares she said, live your truth, but it can't be with me.
Oh my God.
Okay, respect me enough to tell me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and now wait a minute. Not too many want a man who slept with men. But why is there a double standard though? Can anybody address that though?
For me, I I think maybe in society it's more accepted. It's more accepted. But in my eyes, it's the same thing. Whenever you rob someone of the choice on whether or not this is something that they want to deal with, whether you are a woman and
Mhm.
you are secretly seeing other women, whatever the case may be, if your partner is not privy to that information and this is something that is important because it is, then it's wrong. Doesn't matter if it's a man or a woman, it's wrong. Just like if you're seeing somebody else, and your partner, your significant other, is not privy to you seeing that other person, then it's wrong. Anytime you have to deceive somebody, or you're not disclosing certain pertinent information, because that's what it is, to someone that you are in relationship with, that is wrong. It's wrong, 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 wrong. I don't care how you look at it. I don't care which way you spin it. I don't care who the gender is. It's just wrong.
And the thing about it is, so much where we are in 2021 is so different than where we were 20 and 30 years ago. There's a name for all these different types of lifestyles that people hid and were deceptive and tried to do in the, behind closed doors and all. There's a name for it all. And people is a lifestyle that has been created around all these different things, from swingers to polyamory to non-monogamy. Ethical non-monogamy? It's a term for it all. So if you want to live a certain lifestyle based on a certain way of engaging with the same sex or the opposite sex, do you? Everyone has already said, live your truth, be in your truth, and stop feeling like you have to be a certain way with certain people in your life to show them to live up to some other people's standards. Is accepted somewhere. It may not be accepted in the relationship you're in, but there's somebody out there that's going to accept it. It's too much. It's so much out here going on. So many. There's no rules anymore. There's no black and white. Everything is straight up gray. And if your gray box don't fit with that gray box, you go find you another gray box. And do you. And stop lying to folks, because all you're doing, you're hurting people that don't need to be hurt.
I know of two different churches where one, the pastor was caught sleeping around and was married with a female. And the church membership, some kind of swept under the rug. In another situation, the pastor was caught sleeping with a guy. They kicked his butt out. And so when society is okay with a man sleeping around another female, even though they married, they'll forgive that. But when it comes to a man sleeping with another man, it's like that's the unforgivable, unpardonable, unthinkable sin. That's like, no way. So the thing about it is, right is wrong is wrong. If you married and you sleep around on your wife, it's wrong. It shouldn't matter whether the person got a vagina or a penis. Wrong is wrong, right is right, period.
And there are churches out there that have a pastor and a first gentleman. If your church, if you feel you are called to preach and you feel that your lifestyle is of a homosexual lifestyle, there are churches that will accept that and will applaud that and will celebrate you. If you know your church is not that church, you may need to avoid destroying that church and your relationship with your parishioners, choose your congregation first and find somewhere else to go. Because something like that would destroy a congregation and people's relationship with their shepherd, with their pastor. So sometimes we got to not be we have our own wants that we want for our life. And sometimes we have to learn to not be selfish. Find our gray box and do whatever our life warrants us to do in the area that allow us and celebrate us, and not try to force it somewhere to prove a point and destroy people's relationships, especially people's relationship with God.
And that made me think, the pastor was a womanizer. Reginald, how many women did they say he he been with.
A number of women
this
that
is a
he.
specific church. I've heard of a lot of churches like this. What church is this? I mean, don't tell me the name of the church. But
I'm not going to say the name of the church or the pastor.
Yeah.
Several churches.
What gets me is we're supposed to love the sinner and hate the sin, but in the church we crucify the sinner.
Mm-hmm.
We get in the place of Christ, where we the judge, the jury, and the executioner.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact of the matter is, ain't nobody in no church got a heaven or hell to put anybody in. Period. And so when you try to crucify that man or God or whatever that person is for stepping outside their marriage or doing whatever they did, you know what's going to happen? God's going to come to you and say, okay, what did you do? And start writing the ground. People try to make your sin so much bigger than theirs.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, you sleep with a man, that's unforgivable. But the thing about it is, well, if you're doing something over here that you ain't supposed to be doing, when you get before Christ, Christ ain't gonna have a list and say, okay, this is the side of the bad list of sin, and this is the side of sin that I don't like, and this is the side. No, sin is sin. He don't put sin in categories.
Mm-mm.
And so the fact of the matter is, you trying to put this person down, crucify this person, and you might not making heaven yourself. Because there's going to be 3 folks in heaven. Folks are going to be surprised they're there. Folks thought they should have been there. And folks ain't going to be there. Period. And so while you trying to sit here and judge a person because what they do in a bedroom, honey, you better be thinking about what you're doing outside your bedroom. Because you can be just as much trouble as that person doing over there. So mind your own business. Crucify people and live your life.
Pass the collection plate.
Let me address this. Jenna says nobody wants something that's been in somebody's back door to enter their front door. That's unsanitary. However,
she's not lying. She ain't lying. She's not lying. All right, but I'm gonna say this. I wanted to respond to what Reginald just said. He said he ain't got no heaven. We don't have a heaven or a hell to put anyone in. And you're right, sin is sin. However, I'm speaking for Shannon Covington. If my spouse, I find out that my spouse is on the down low, I may not have a heaven or a hell to put him in, but I'm gonna try to find somewhere to put him. For real, I'm gonna try to put him in hell. I'm gonna try real hard. I'm gonna try to send him there, because it's just being honest. We say be real, right? We say be transparent on Tuesday Talk. There's no need for me to sit there and sugarcoat front. If that was something that I found out, I'm 38 hot. For real. I'm 38 hot. And again, for me, it's more about the lying, the deception to someone that you are in relationship with, whether you're in a marriage or long-term relationship. If you cannot be honest with the person that you're with and give them the opportunity to make this decision for themselves, whether or not they want to remain in relationship with you, you are wrong. You are wrong. And like for me, if I were to find that out, somebody going somewhere. That's all I'm saying. We got to find a place.
A different level.
I might not have a heaven or hell to put them in, but I'm gonna make one.
Women that are HIV positive. And the scary thing about
a lot of Black women at that.
Yeah, you get with this sister, and things started going well, and one thing lead to another, and y'all do the do. And she's positive and don't know she's positive. Now you done slept with her, and guess what? Now you HIV positive.
Whew,
that is one hellified situation to be in. Okay, you trusting this woman, but this woman that slept with this man that she didn't know messed around has given her HIV. She don't know it because she's not showing any symptoms, and you have to do with her, and bam, now you got a life-ending disease because of some other. Because the fact of the matter, when you sleep with somebody, You sleep on whoever they slept with years and years before you met them. If you start to think about that before you put your thing in there, you might think twice before you do it. You having sex with Tom, Dick, Frank, George, because they've been in that woman, and you go in that woman, all that's come back towards you. And so, I'm just being honest. You know, you have to think twice before you have sex with a person. You know, that's why, hey, let's go take an HIV test. Let's make sure we both good. Because I don't know if you've been sleeping with somebody, especially in the city of Atlanta. Okay, when you got black men messing around with black women who sleep with black men, having sex with black women, getting them HIV positive, you see a fine sister, one thing happened to another, you don't put your coat on because it's raining, you don't put your coat on, and bam, you got a life-ending disease because you thought she was okay. It happens every day of the week, period. And we need to talk about that in church more than we do. You better think about it. You better put that raincoat on. Don't go outside without the raincoat.
Oh, Jesus. Woo! Jesus.
With that said, folks.
Will there be one?
By letter. I can't finish it, y'all.
Oh,
you know what?
I need something strong.
You know what? I gotta say this. I gotta say this right here. AB says it best. Ooh, no, not that one. AB. No, it just going. No, it just going. I mean, yeah, here it go. No glove, no love. Yes, that's it right there. I'm done right here. I am done.
Yep. Look at my plate in the fellowship hall.
Yeah,
I'm gonna keep it real. I'm sorry, I just keep it real.
Oh, we appreciate it.
Part my French, but I had to put it out there because folks don't understand the seriousness of this situation. HIV is real. It's still out here. COVID did not HIV out the box.
And especially in the South.
Yes.
For some crazy reason, the South amongst African Americans. So we really got to be careful.
And now it's getting hot and folks getting naked.
Well, if they haven't, Reginald, if they having sex, aren't they already naked, whether it's hot or it's cold? Don't they have sex in the winter and the spring?
Yeah, but summertime when you see that can lead to other things.
Goodness.
People are showing what they should be showing. And wearing some things they shouldn't be wearing. I saw one today, raised my hand. I'm like, cover up.
No, Reggie. I think that's you. I think that's just you. Yeah. You got no business looking at them young girls like that. That's your problem.
In your face.
Change your glasses. Put some shades on.
Rachel said it's getting
girls like that. What's wrong with you?
Rachel said it's getting hot and folks getting naked.
Cover up. They ain't got to cover up. It's too hot to be wearing all them.
The beach is one thing, and Walmart is another.
Goodness, y'all.
Hey, you can't tell them what to do. You just need to govern your mind. Work out your own soul salvation.
And that goes the other way around too. The women.
I'm done. I ain't got nothing to say. I don't have nothing else to say.
With shirts off.
Jesus.
Shorts on.
I can't.
Showing what we got between the legs.
Oh boy.
So it goes both ways. It don't stop at the female, it go to the male too. We do some things out here to get attention too. And it's hot, and when folks get hot and bothered, things happen.
And guess what? My eyes work, and I'm a look.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with window shopping as long as you don't buy.
I ain't buying nothing, but I'm a look because my eyes work.
I don't know, but great sweatpants season is coming to an
Listen,
end.
I'm a look. My eyes work fine. Walk past me if you want to. I'm looking. My God.
Jesus.
What's on the menu for the after party, Mike?
You know it's bad when Victor don't have a comment.
The health department shut us down.
Leslie flattered like she in church.
Some doggone knuckles you served last week.
Y'all silly tonight. Oh man.
Jesus.
I needed that laugh.
Oh yes, Lord. We didn't even get no one now.
Oh mercy.
Where is the announcer? He just showing commercials. I can't. Oh my goodness, Jesus.
I'm so hot. I don't know what to do with my life. It's so hot in here.
I'll help you out, Mike. You know, if you find this conversation stimulating and interesting, then there'll be a link provided for the after party. And it's an opportunity for us to have discussions like this. And we're all adults. And as you've seen tonight, we've had some real issues that are just real that happens, you know, within, you know, society and in the church. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, real ministry, real conversations. The link for the after party be coming soon. And so
take us home, Victor. Please take us home. You might as well go and do it, please. Tell them good night. Please.
Night, y'all.
Thanks for watching.
I went to him that is able to be faultless.
Let's take some time and think for a minute. What's going on? And are we with it? I get the phone calls away, but if no one calls, it's another day. How can I explain to you what I feel and what is true? And how can I do my best